make it actually greater than you can bear, so that you rely on Him to escape it. I do want to point out I am watching the monitor. If somebody makes a comment, I can see and respond to any questions that they might have. A great many people feel that uh, nobody will ever has ever been tempted as they are tempted. My friend, no matter what temptation you experience, there has been others who have had the same kind of temptation. And I find out and I teach and celebrate recovery. That's the importance of celebrate recovery and going to the small groups is you realize you're not alone. There's probably a handful of people in the small group that have went through the same thing that you have. The encouraging thing is that God will make a way of escape for you. God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can endure. Dr. Sutton used to say it like this: God always makes a way of escape, and sometimes the way of escape is the king's highway and a good pair of heels. In other words, let the devil see your heels. Run as hard as you can and get away from the temptation. One of the reasons we yield to temptation is that we are like the little boy in the pantry. His mother heard a noise because he had taken down a cookie jar. She said, "Willie, where are you?" He said that he was in the pantry. "What are you doing there?" He said, "I'm fighting temptation." My friend, that is not the place to fight temptation. That is the place to start running. Oh, thank you for the like, the thumbs up. Is it Elaine? Are you watching me? Verse 14. Wherefore, my dearly beloved, flee from idolatry. I speak as a wise man, judge ye what I say. Idolatry was a temptation in Corinth. Idolatry may not be a temptation to you, but the Bible tells us that covetousness is idolatry. There is a lot of that around today. Paul is going on to teach that fellowship at the Lord's table requires separation. Verse 16. The cup of blessing which we bless, is it not the communion of the blood of Christ? The bread which we break, is it not the communion of the body of Christ? For we, being many, are one bread and one body, for we are all partakers of that one bread. Behold, Israel after the flesh, are not they which eat of the sacrifices partakers of the altar? What say I then, that the idol is anything, or that which is offered and sacrificed to idols is anything? Paul's agreement here is quite logical. He says that an idol is nothing. So, if we offer meat to an idol, it is nothing. The meat is not affected at all. Verse 20. But I say that the thing which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils and not to God. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils. Paul is still talking about Christian liberty, although the idol is nothing. Behind the idol is demonism. Paul recognizes that. Verse 21. Ye cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. Ye cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and of the table of devils. That is, for some people to eat meat which had been sacrificed to idols would be idolatry. A believer would have to examine his heart very carefully. Verse 22. Do we provoke the Lord to jealousy? Are we stronger than he? Paul now comes back to what he said at the very beginning of this section on Christian liberty. And that concludes this section. Now we